A bank deposit is a liability of your bank. Even digital assets rely on servers, networks, and code. But gold stands alone. It cannot default. It cannot be printed. It cannot be erased by a government collapse or a banking crisis. In a world built on debt, gold is the only asset outside the system. That's why central banks, the very institutions that thrive on debt, quietly fear and respect gold. Because gold represents a world where money cannot be manipulated. Now look at the world today. Global debt has crossed $300 trillion. The U.S. adds $1 trillion of debt every 100 days. Inflation is returning everywhere. Countries are moving away from the U.S. dollar. Trust in governments and banks is eroding. And every time the financial system shakes, humanity repeats the same pattern. It runs back to gold. The pattern never changes. Gold has survived pharaohs, emperors, monarchies, dictators, world wars, economic depressions, and currency collapses. Because gold is not just a metal, it is a mirror reflecting the weakness of human-made financial systems. And right now, the reflection is getting darker. When people buy gold, it's never because gold changed. It's because the system changed. And the system today is flashing warning signs. Central banks know it. History knows it. And now, you know it too. Here are 3 things to remember. First, gold's value is psychological, not practical, but psychology drives economies and always has. Second, every empire collapses the same way. Too much debt, too little trust. Gold rises when confidence falls. Third, gold survives because it exposes the truth about money, that currencies depend on trust, and trust breaks easily. And here is the warning. The world is approaching another turning point. The rules of global finance may be rewritten. Whether the future includes a gold-backed system, a digital currency, or something entirely new, one thing is certain: gold will play a role. Economic activity grew fast, but the gold supply did not. Countries could no longer expand without violating their own rules. During World War I, nations secretly printed more money than they had gold. During the Great Depression, the United States closed banks, seized private gold, and devalued its currency. Governments everywhere pretended to follow the gold standard while quietly breaking it. The truth was unavoidable. Gold revealed something rulers hated. It exposed their weakness, their desire to spend more than they actually had. In 1944, the world tried a new compromise, Bretton Woods. The U.S. dollar would be backed by gold, and the world would be backed by the dollar. Stability returned for a while. But nations kept exchanging their dollars for America's gold, and U.S. vaults began to empty. The system cracked. On August 15, 1971, President Nixon ended the gold standard, shocking the world and launching the age of pure fiat money. For the first time in modern history, global currencies were backed by nothing, only trust in governments. Gold should have become irrelevant at that moment. It should have faded away like a relic of ancient economics. But something unexpected happened. Gold exploded in value. People didn't trust paper money without gold behind it. Inflation surged, currencies weakened, and economic chaos spread. In moments of fear, humanity returned to the metal that had survived every empire. And the strangest part? Even today, with all our technology, gold is more relevant than ever. Central banks, from China and Russia to Turkey and India, are buying historic amounts of gold. Even the IMF holds massive reserves. Why? Why would institutions that control the global financial system accumulate a metal that contributes nothing to modern industry? The answer is simple but powerful. Gold is the only financial asset on Earth that is not someone else's liability. A dollar is a liability of the U.S. government. A bond is a liability of the issuer. Currency will change forever. The earliest humans didn't value gold at all. Survival mattered more. But around 4,500 BCE, something strange happened. Ancient people noticed a metal that refused to rust, corrode, or fade. Time had no effect on it. Rain didn't damage it. Fire didn't destroy it. Gold was eternal. And across different civilizations, from Egypt to Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley, people reached the same conclusion. something that lasts forever, must be valuable. That simple psychological leap became the foundation of gold's power. At first, it was used for religious objects and royal ornaments. It symbolized immortality, purity, and divine authority. Leaders realized something important. If you control gold, you control belief, and if you control belief, you control people. What began as symbolism soon evolved into something far more powerful. Around 600 BCE, the Kingdom of Lydia minted the first gold coins. Suddenly, gold wasn't just a symbol, it became a system. A system built on three unbreakable qualities. It was scarce, portable, and indestructible. It felt like the perfect tool for early trade. Gold coins carried the image of rulers, projecting their power far beyond their borders. Empires expanded using currencies stamped with their symbols. But the moment gold became money, a deeper problem emerged. There was never enough of it. Empires grew faster than gold could be mined. Armies, roads, trade, expansion, everything demanded more gold than existed. Scarcity created a dangerous pressure. Civilization after civilization faced the same impossible choice. Either accept painful deflation and economic collapse, or secretly cheat the system. This pattern repeated for millennia. By the 1800s and early 1900s, nearly every major country adopted the gold standard. Paper money was backed by gold stored in vaults. It sounded honest and stable, but in reality, it trapped nations again. Gold is useless. You can't eat it, you can't drink it, it can't power a machine, build a bridge, or cure a disease. In the real world of survival and technology, gold contributes almost nothing. And yet for over 6,000 years, this shiny yellow metal has ruled empires, toppled kings, ignited wars, collapsed economies, and shaped the fate of civilizations. How did humanity become enslaved to something that has almost no practical function? And why, despite satellites, quantum computers, and digital currencies, are the world's most powerful central banks hoarding more of it than ever? Thousands of years ago, before farming, before cities, before writing, humans used objects only for survival. Tools, fire, food, shelter, nothing else mattered. But then early humans discovered something unusual, a metal unlike any other. Gold didn't rust. It didn't rot. It didn't break down. It didn't stain, tarnish, or disappear. It survived storms, fire, floods, and time. Even after lying in the earth for thousands of years, it emerged untouched, glowing, almost supernatural. And something in the human mind made a silent leap. Anything that defies time must be special. This was the first psychological trigger that gave gold power. Ancient societies across the world, Egyptians, Mesopotamians, the people of the Indus Valley, never communicated with each other, but all arrived at the same conclusion. Gold was a symbol of immortality. It became the material of gods, kings, and ceremonies. Pharaohs wore it, priests decorated temples with it, and warriors carried it as a sign of divine favor. Gold wasn't money yet. It was something more powerful, an object of belief. And when rulers realized belief was a stronger tool than force, gold evolved into something much bigger. The truth behind gold is older than pyramids, stranger than conspiracy theories, and more influential than any economic law taught in schools. Once you understand the real reason gold became money, your entire view of modern